Hi, this is Mill's Mess again. Welcome back to my playthrough of Dark Sea 2, which is a Knytt Stories level created by Secret Glitch, and Knytt Stories itself was made by Niflis. When we left off last time, we were part of the way through of getting power from the oil plant and the power plant. So we are currently in the oil section and dodging a whole bunch of lasers here. So the key on this screen is to get through all the lasers before they come back to the left side and get in your way again. So that requires a great deal of umbrella trickery. This screen, of course, you have to dodge the flames while simultaneously dodging the lasers, which just takes some practice. And this screen is truly horrible because the creature at the bottom shoots those energy orbs, and the only way I found to complete this screen was to know ahead of time where the energy orbs will come down and then to dodge between those orbs, which takes a ridiculous amount of practice to do. This screen here is much easier and much more fun. You just sort of go for it and hope the energy orbs don't hit you. Sooner or later you'll get it. Now, if I recall, the screen is another one of those where the lights suddenly go out on you. Yes, there we are. And then when they come back on, then you sort of like instantly die. So I have to admit this is not really my favorite kind of screen. But this one's not so bad, just as long as you get out of the way of the energy orbs right after turning the lights on. Again, this just takes practice, doing it a few times to see where the exact energy orbs will go. Oh, this screen here, I feel like I maybe found an unintended way to do it. Because, it seems like maybe you're supposed to hide up in that cranny on the top, but actually if you just walk barely past the point where the lights come on, then you can just stand on this green button and dodge the flame every time it shoots at you, and you never actually trigger the blue creature. So that makes the screen a whole lot easier. Something particularly special about this next screen here, just be careful and then use the little bit of rising air to get through. Oh, this screen is kind of fun. You have to go over each of the buttons the right number of times so as to match the white code with the green code below. And there's nothing particularly hard here, you just have to make sure not to get hit. So it'll probably take you a few tries. Oh, this screen is truly painful. Same idea as the previous one, except the lasers come from the left and sort of push you on to the next section. So you have to go back and forth on the button very quickly. And maybe you can go back and look and see how I did it, but that does take a while to get. And this screen here is surprisingly tricky. Um, just having to get around these protrusions without hitting the spiky boxes in a very limited amount of time. Once you get to this point, you're home free. Alright, this looks promising. Press down to activate the charging system. Excellent. Submarine is now charged. That's what I like to hear. Sub is now departing to the lab. Okay, we're finally getting somewhere. Receiving transmission from lab, processing. Oh, you'll notice here that the resolution changed. This is a newer section that I just re-recorded. And the security system has decided to come online. That's unfortunate. It's another one of those things where you move and then all the lights come on and you instantly die that Secret Glitch apparently likes to do. Oh, here you have to go down very quickly and then save because there's a laser that will come on above you that will get you. This is a tricky screen because they're both vertical and horizontal lasers, so it looks like you have to use a double jump cleverly. There we are. Oh yeah, and then just when you think you're safe, you come into the next screen, then one of those vertical lasers gets you. I think this is probably the last time that we do a jump off of this box, so that's kind of an exciting moment. Although maybe there's one more I might not be remembering. Oh, this is there's a nice trick on this screen. You have to do a double jump in midair that will sort of get you in between two horizontal lasers. It's a good trick to know. All these laser screens are not as bad as they look. And the mini sub is right there. We're so close. All right, and we're off to the lab. Nuances Laboratory. All right, so we just need to deactivate the drill, which he wants to use to drill down into the mantle and create some horrible volcano or something. So where's the drill? So here are three sections. Looks like the drill is straight down. To the left is laboratory C, and to the right is the biosphere. So it looks like if we can't get into the drill just yet, we need two keys, and those are going to come from the biosphere and laboratory C. So can we go to the laboratory now? No, it looks like we need one of the keys. So it looks like the biosphere is first on the agenda. Here we are. I really like the look of the biosphere. Secret Glitch did a good job. There's a few easy screens here. They feel so strange after all those difficult laser screens in the submarine. Yeah, the idea for this screen is to go over the green and purple bouncers and go underneath the red one. Oh, and the idea on this screen is you want to be going over and around that gray thing with the horrible blue thing gets in your way, so you have to time appropriately with that. Okay, so it looks like there's a door going down. Okay, that's also just the right edge of the biosphere. All right, and we have our key. So the subterranean life forms have grown hostile. Analysis becomes difficult. That sounds ominous. So I guess we have to go through this subterranean area to get back to laboratory C. Which I really like this subterranean area. Again, the use of light and shadow is very well done here. And the use of these little pink creatures and also of the spiders is really good. Some really clever puzzles. This screen here is just more finicky than anything. You have to jump over the spider and underneath the gray thing. And it took me so many attempts to get it. And then same idea here, getting between the enemy and the hanging gray thing from above. Oh, this was one of my favorite screens probably in the entire level. Just a tricky combination of faking out these different spider things to your advantage. This screen is relatively simple. It's helpful to remember that the umbrella can block the fireballs, as long as the fireball comes directly from above. And to get up fast enough so that that spiky thing on the left is not blocking your exit, you definitely need to be jumping on the wall as you climb it. Oh, this is a very tricky screen, particularly the second half of it, where you have the little pink creature that follows you, and also the spider, which will run towards you. Sort of an interesting dodging game to fake out the spider and fake out the red thing. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. The seabed is full of volcanic activity, which must reaffirm us on a fault line. Well, I suppose that's good for Dr. Nuance. Oh, and this shaft here looks really cool, the lava coming up and these spiky black things that have been growing here. Oh, this screen is just one where you just sort of have to go for it and hope nothing hits you. On the top half here, there's a bit of strategy in deciding, when to go for things, because the lasers force you to wait and to be able to dodge the energy orbs from below. Oh, this screen here I quite enjoyed, because you're having to dodge just so many projectiles and also use the umbrella, and it's a really fun screen. It's important to wait for the horizontally firing things to have just fired before you try and go down one of the side halls that they're firing into. Well, this is, again, the design pattern that Secret Glitch often likes to use. Several of the same puzzle in a row, with the puzzle getting a little bit harder with each iteration. Alright, we made it out of the subterranean area unscathed. Now we can head over to Laboratory C, get ourselves the other key, and then we'll be off to the drill. Yeah, still need another key. Now, Laboratory C I really like. It's quite surreal, and there's a lot of really fun umbrella puzzles. The surreal effect is accomplished through the use of clever shifts and sort of screen wrap style things. For example, here it looks like the way is blocked, but if you turn back to where you came from, and then back again, things have changed and you can now proceed. So you could see I was having fun seeing what was happening here. One thing I don't like about the design of this part of the level is there's a lot of hidden spikes on the walls, and it's sometimes unclear as to what will be spiky and what will not be spiky until you land on it. This is quite a tricky jump here because it's hard not to hit the laser above and still get enough height. Oh, and this is probably one of my favorite puzzles in the game. You have to fall down through several screens, but the screen wrap effect keeps bringing you back up to the top, and you have to save your double jump all the way to the end or you can't make it. This is more of the same style of thing, using the screen wrap appropriately, then saving your double jump for the sort of first section in between the two large gray rectangles can be quite helpful. Yay, made it to the save point. And then getting back is much the same. Yeah, again, it's important not to use the double jump until right at the very end. Or I guess right in the middle there. Okay, there's a bit of a jump there. But this is just the next challenge screen. And this screen looks pretty painful, but it's not as bad as you might think. There's so many lasers that it sort of constrains your path, and that kind of makes the puzzle a little simpler. And here you just have to keep jumping off the floor, because the floor is periodically unsafe. Here we get to some more umbrella-style puzzles, where you can use the screen wrap to your advantage by falling down immediately, which makes the remaining puzzle a little easier. Here you wait for these two lasers to go by, and then you can dart into the save point. Oh, this was one of the screens that probably took me the longest to get it properly. There's just so many things that have to go right. So you have to come over here, press the button, open up the way, then come back. One thing I didn't realize when I was doing it is that the central gray platform there actually doesn't have spikes on it. So you may be able to use that to your advantage. I just avoided it. Here you have to be careful to get through fast enough, or the purple orb creature will undo all your hard work. And here I thought we had to go down, but you know, it looks like it's just a dead end. So when things look like a dead end, it often pays to get the eyeball, because then hidden blocks and hidden passages will appear. And indeed, we have a hidden passage. Hero is being very cautious. I like this. It's kind of cool. Getting to this point, it felt like we were drifting down, but due to the screen wrap, we can actually get back up, so to speak, but still drifting downwards the entire way, which is kind of surreal. Again, the lasers constrain your movements pretty strictly. And then a hidden ghost block comes out of nowhere to save the day at the last moment. Okay, we must be getting close to the end of Laboratory C, since we've done a lot of challenges. Oh, here, this room looks so easy, but then these things come out of the floor. But if you just sort of take it one obstacle at a time, it's really not so bad. Here was a little confusing where to go, but it turns out any other exit just takes you back to somewhere you've been before. This screen here was quite difficult. If you see the boxes sort of hanging from the ceiling and on the floor, those will stop you from getting by. Once those barriers have come up, they will completely block the way. So you have to avoid triggering the things coming out of the floor until you are ready to jump over them before they seal off the way entirely. Anyway, and that last little bit there, dodging the laser and the barrier, it's quite tricky. It takes a lot of practice. Now we have the key, and we're out of the laboratory. Now we can go to the drill and finish saving the world. Excitement. Here we go. So at this point in the level, not quite yet, but shortly, there will be a number of alternate paths. In this video, I only showed the easiest path to the finish. I have completed sections of some of the other paths, but not in their entirety, so I just show the easiest path here. The other paths are very fun and worth doing as well, and I will probably go back someday. May or may not post those. But this is enough to let you complete the level, because you only need to go through one of the paths to finish the game. Now we have quite a long sequence here where we're falling, and Secret Glitch forces you to use the double jump right at the start there. So it's a lot of high precision and quick reflexes required with the umbrella. It's reminiscent of the shaft sequence in Dark Sea 1, if you've played that. And here, for example, you can go to the right, and there are some alternate routes to the finish. The easiest way is to go down here. A good trick is that you can close your umbrella to fall more quickly when you need to. Oh, and here I waited for quite a time just to get all the lasers lined up the way I needed them to be. It makes sense to take your time, because sometimes the lasers will just line up just right if you wait long enough. Here you have to fake out the creatures to the left and then pull back to the right. Here the shaft gets narrower. You need to be careful to not go into the dark region, as it will kill you. Okay, again, there are alternate routes there, but going down is still the easiest one. Again, Secret Glitch takes away the double jump right at the start. And that's a really evil shift with the block coming right on top of you. That's one you just have to know with practice. This screen is kind of fun, darting through the projectiles. And it looks like we made it. We're at the bottom. So now we just need to find the drill and deactivate it. You can see pathways above. Those are the pathways that you would get if you took one of the alternate routes. There are several jumps here over the lava. The last one is deceptively difficult. Alright, here's the final challenge of the game if you take this easiest route. So basically you keep turning off or reducing the power in the drill, and every time you do so, the security system teleports you back to the left, and then you have to make your way through another challenge in order to reduce the power by another notch. This one's tricky. You have to run through the orange in time very quickly so that you can hold down the green button for long enough for the orange barriers to disappear before you get fried with a laser closing in on you on the left. There are a whole lot of lasers here to dodge, and you have to somehow get down into that crevice on the bottom. So, oh yes, of course, if you mess up on any one of the shutdown sequence challenges, you have to go back to the start. So this took a really long time to do. Hey, main power offline. Did we do it? Hey, there's no lights anymore. With Nuance's drill deactivated, the world was safe once more. Ah, and it looks like we're returning home. Hooray, the world is saved. Thank you for watching, and have fun.